Hiya, here I am today with my heart to heart. I just have to move this cutter because it's going to hurt me. I know that. I'm going to slam my elbow into it. That's not going to be good. There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't even, you know how I flop my arms around. I just hit my elbow on the table. Listen, let's get over all this craziness. Here I am today with our heart to heart. We've been talking about bridges all month, and now I want to talk to you about the most exciting bridges in color. Yeah, you know color has 4 components, right? Hue, temperature, saturation, value. And I have a nice value scale here that I dyed. And we can see the colors are moving from, white to black. I'm almost studying that. Look at my hair. But between them, this is either side of the bridge. We've got all these wonderful things that help us move from one to the other. These values between are bridges that help us go from one color to another or one part of our work to another. It can be about, with value, building dimension. So the things between our polarities, the other side of our bridge, are what allows us to make smooth transitions. You've heard me talk about transitions before. So you always want to think about, if you're having a stiff part in your rug, what can I do to smooth out the area between those things? Maybe if you have something that's dark and something that's lighter and they're just not, it's too harsh a contrast, you can look between for that good bridge. Here's one that's right between them. Is that going to help? Indeedy it is. Made a beautiful bridge between those and smoothed out those differences. Do you see what I mean? What a great bridge. Let's look at some other bridges. So now we've dealt with value. It's the least exciting thing, but the most useful thing in color. Does so much work. So let's take a look at this. I have a sampler here that I made when I was writing my book. It has all sorts of bridges in it. And like I said, I like to call them transitions, and I have a piece of paper attached to it, not because I need to remember myself, but because it helps when I haul this out, when I'm talking about it, people can see the word to at the same time. If I wasn't such a lazy cuss, I'd hook it on with loops, but I don't. So here we have a transition of value. And the bridge are these two. So we're going from a darker to a lighter, just like we just spoke about. And that's happening here too, and here, and here. Same colors, just moving from darker to lighter. But next door to this nice green one, we have something else happening. We have something moving from one color to another. And here are the transitions, or the bridge between them. Here, we're moving from raspberry to orange. Again, you can see the transition moving between them. We're moving from sort of a red-orange over to yellow. Look what allows that to happen. Same with here. We moved from, true green, Kelly green, to yellow green. These are the transitions between them. That's what makes the bridge. It smooths out what happens. And we might not even truly notice that we're moving from one color to another. Maybe we would, but it might take some looking at before we realized what was happening. But that transition of temperature, because this is what it is, it's moving from a cooler color to a warmer one, a cooler color through the warm one to a cooler one on the other side. Now, when I say cooler, I just mean orange is the warmest color, so either way we move away from it, things are getting cooler. Here, all warm colors, but we're moving from a cooler warm, red-violet, to the warmest warm, orange. And here's 2 cool colors. Blue is the coolest color, and we're moving through it to violet. Of course, it's getting warmer. Isn't that so fascinating? So temperature has a lot to do with hue and the color wheel, because one side of the color wheel is cool and the other side of the color wheel is warm. So let's take a look about saturation. I only have one example for it, and it's kind of a pitiful one, but let's just take a look at it anyway. So here we have no color, and here we have some color. And we've moved through to more and more and more color. Do you see that? It's easier to see when it's far away. It has one, this is disappointing because I dropped a little bit of green dye on this strip. It was just the salvage edge of something I was making for something else. And of course it looks like it's gray far away, but see, it's actually green. Now that's how saturation works. Moves from no color to more color present. Now what else have we got here? Here's a really good temperature array again. We're moving from blue at the top over to red, and we're going through all of this long bridge to get there. Here we're moving the same as this one on top, but we're taking more steps between. We actually have yellow and orange in here too, so we have this, which we had before, and now it's moving over towards orange. Here on the bottom, we're moving all the way around the color wheel almost. I guess we probably are, because this is yellow, green, and this is green, blue, turquoise. I mean, it must be blue here, and this is turquoise. And then we're moving into the red violets, and over and over and over to red oranges, and orange, and then to yellow. So we can see the bridge built between this color here and this color over here. It's really fascinating, isn't it? Now here is some hooked up. Here we're moving from one value to another. These are all the bridge between. Here we're moving from some color to no color. And this is here too, just to demonstrate how this bridging works. Well, I hope you have found this interesting. Whenever you get into a dilemma, like I showed you with the value, where things aren't working all that well together, you can go back to what you know about crossing a bridge. There has to be a pathway, and you need to get on it in order for your work to look the way you want it to. All right, my friends, I hope that was interesting. This is from my heart to yours. Thank you very much for joining me.